What's up, you guys? This particular vlog is going to be about out-of-body experiences and astral projection. I'm trying to record this before the sun goes down. I'm at my window right now. Was enjoying the view for a while, but gotta hurry up and get it done. Gotta get it done. This vlog is basically going to be about my experiences with astral projection and out-of-body experiences. Some people call it sleep paralysis or whatever. I started having these at the age of 16, and strangely, this was right after my mom had passed. I don't know what the connection is. I feel there is a connection between, the passing of my mother and these experiences. But my mom passed from a cell abnormality called sarcoidosis, and she had it of the lungs, so it was very, she had respiratory issues and had shortness of breath and stuff like that, and it's an ongoing problem for her during her 30s and 40s and 50s, so almost 30 years she struggled with it. It's the same thing that Bernie Mac passed away from, and she had stage 4 sarcoidosis. So while she was in a hospital, the nurses were quite shocked because she was young. She passed at the age of 50, I think 52. The doctors were like, she has had stage 4 for at least a couple of years, and a lot of people don't make it that long in that particular stage. So it was, to me, it was just a blessing to have her around that long. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, my first out-of-body experience occurred in the house that she moved into before she passed. It always takes place at like 3 o'clock in the morning, or like, in the wee hours of the morning, like 3 to 4 o'clock a.m. I would always wake up around that time, and I would feel this presence in my room. It didn't feel like a pleasant presence at all. I talked to some of my family members about it, and they said, maybe it's, the spirit of your mother. I'm like, no, it don't feel like the spirit of my mother. It feel like something that's there to, I don't know, just to intimidate me. It was intimidating, interrogating, entity. I can't really explain it. It just felt dark. It felt cold. And that was my first experience. I remember waking up at like 3:45 in the morning, and I couldn't move. My eyes were open. I could see 2 views of my body. One with me lying in the bed. I was on my back, and it's like my spiritual self kind of lifted off the bed and was walking around the house and just roaming around. It was so strange because I could feel both myself, my physical self, lying in the bed, and I could also feel my spiritual self, I guess. I can't really explain it. I don't know, really know much about it. I feel myself walking around the house. It was kind of like a dream, almost like a very, very lucid dream, but I know it wasn't. I know it wasn't. It wasn't a lucid dream at all. That was my very first experience. After that, a couple of months later, we moved into this house that we're in now. We've been here for about 2.5 years, and this is when it started, happening heavy. One significant experience, I went to bed sad, thinking about my mother. The next morning at like 3 o'clock, I felt the same presence in my room, definitely malevolent. This particular time I was sleeping on my stomach, and all of a sudden I felt this heat and this pressure on my back, like specifically on my shoulder blades. I felt this, intense pressure like weighing me down in the bed. So that's what made me wake up. This particular time I couldn't open my eyes, I couldn't speak, I couldn't say anything. All I could do was think. I couldn't move, I couldn't do anything. In that moment, I immediately started to pray. I started to pray. For a split second, pressure kind of let up off of me. That's when I thought it was, you know, over or whatever. But it forced itself a second time. This time it was even more intense. It was even more harder. It was hot. My back, like I'm getting chills talking about it. But the back of my shirt was drenching wet from my sweat. Like I was sweating so bad. As I continued to pray, I was able to speak. I was able to, you know, move my mouth, you know, with what I was thinking. I started to form words, and I started to speak, and then I screamed. And strangely, when I screamed, it didn't sound like my voice. It sounded like something demonic. It sounded like another voice. Like it didn't sound like anything of this world at all. It sounded ungodly. You know what I'm saying? After I screamed, I still continued to pray. It's like when I screamed, I lost control of my body. It's like something else took over for a split second. After I had screamed, it's like I kind of resided back to my body or whatever, back to my conscious mind or whatever. And I continued to pray. And as I'm praying, I'm still trying to lift up in a push-up position off my bed. And after a good 2 minutes of praying so hard and, you know, just thinking so hard, Jesus, please get this manifestation out of my room, get it out of my house, get it out of my mind. With all my might, I pushed myself off the bed, and I was able to, you know, move freely and turn over. And I was literally tired. The muscles were tense for me trying to lift off the bed. Like it was crazy. Like it was like a physical battle, but I definitely know it was spiritual. That was my first very, very, very intense experience. The second experience was about 3 months after that one. This second experience was me lying on my back this time. Once again, 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I wake up and I'm not able to move. I felt this weird vibration in my fingers, in my fingertips, in my wrists, in my arms, specifically my right arm. For some reason, I felt it like it was being weighed down in the bed. Now, watch this. I wake up, I'm not able to move, but I'm able to open my eyes this time. I open my eyes. To my right, I see this being. I don't know what it was. Well, I know what it was. I see this being. It had like, how can I describe this skin? I don't know if y'all can see this. Kind of like, the color of this yellowish greenish color. This yellow, you know, a blend between green and yellow. But not quite this, but had a bald head. I really couldn't make out his face, but I knew it was definitely evil. All I could think of, you know, is definitely a demon. And this thing was like sitting inches away from my face. Specifically like near my right arm. You know what I'm saying? Say I'm lying down in the bed. I'm lying like this. It was sitting, this is my right arm. It was sitting right here, like near my shoulder. Like it was leaning over into my bed. I closed my eyes so fast, yo, and I immediately started to pray. I prayed Psalms 23, some more other prayers. I gathered all my armor of God and just prayed, because this was probably the most, well, no, I think the other one before this one was way more intense, but this one was the most frightening because I actually seen something. I opened my eyes a second time and it was still there. At this point, I started getting upset. I started getting angry. It wouldn't leave me alone. And no matter how much and how hard and how long I prayed, it still wouldn't leave. But as soon as I said, in the name of Jesus, leave this house, that's when a weight just lifted off of my whole body. opened my eyes a third time, and it was gone. And, you know, I tell my family members about this, and you know, I really don't like to. I don't like talking about it because I don't want to weird anybody out. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I find these kind of things very fascinating. It goes to show that there is a force in this world, an unseen force. It's definitely more to the world than what meets the eye. Like I said, I talk to my family and my friends about it, and most of them don't really understand. They be like, "Oh, you just dreaming. You just dreaming. You just had a bad dream. What you be looking at before you go to bed? You know what I'm saying? What you be looking at?" I be like, "I don't look at nothing. My TV is always off. Not always off, but I sleep in the dark. But I keep my TV on. I don't play that black pitch dark stuff. I don't do that. I can't do that. I would keep my TV on, but most of the time I'm on my laptop or I'm on my phone. I don't think it has anything to do with what I'm watching before I go to bed. I don't think that. I believe it's just a spiritual warfare, and I believe everybody has it. Everybody goes through it. You know what I'm saying? It's just some people are more sensitive to the unseen, and I know that I'm one of those people that are more sensitive to the unseen. I've had experiences where I've had dreams or even premonitions that come true. I've gotten to the point now, I have them so often that I tell my family members or my friends that I dreamt about. Give them a warning and let them know what's going to happen before it's going to happen. Strangely, it would happen. It's just weird, and it does freak them out for a minute. My family, in particular, they're used to it. Used to me sharing my premonitions with them. Yeah, I don't like talking about it to everybody because, you know what I'm saying, you can feel when somebody judging you, or they like, stop lying. You know you lying. You're like, no, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is actually real. Yeah, that's my experience. Well, a couple of my experiences. There are so many, and not all out-of-body experiences are bad. You know, all of my experiences aren't bad. There are some that are peaceful, and you go to a peaceful place, a feeling of love and just pure joy. But those two experiences that I explained, those were the ones that stuck out to me most because they were the most mysterious. They were the most intense. Yeah, those are my experiences. If you'd like to, leave a comment below. You know if you've experienced out-of-body episodes and astral projection. Before I jumped on the camera and made this video, I was working on uploading some more vlogs and was writing some skits and creating some more music. Trying to get, you know, a signature soundtrack for my channel and stuff like that. So just trying to get that established. You know, trying to create an intro and an outro for my videos, and you know, trying to get everything solid so I can build a brand. Don't forget to like this video, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching this video. Much love. I will see y'all next time.